Hey guys, welcome back to my channel for another video and another year. It is officially 2026 when I'm recording this, y'all. And can I just say, 7 years ago exactly, it was January 2019. I had just started my business and my YouTube channel a few months prior to that. And when January came, I looked around and realized I want to do this full time. Like, I like doing this. I want to be able to create content, sell products, build an audience, and do this outside of my job. I was a teacher at the time. And by April 2019, I was doing it full time. I've been doing it full time ever since. In today's video, I want to kind of show y'all behind the scenes of it all, what all goes into me running this business full time. What does that mean? What are my streams of income? How much am I making from those streams of income? How I manage it all? What does the time look like? Because as we start a new year, a lot of you probably want to do this full time or be able to make money from your content, but not a lot of people talk about how much work goes into this, from YouTube to coaching to products, sales, etc. So I want to invite y'all into like a typical week of my life. I don't know about y'all, but coming back from the holiday break, my schedule was packed. So at the beginning of the week, I had 3 different coaching sessions with different clients of mine, some who are in my group coaching program and some who weren't. And I also just needed to catch up on so many emails. So I've been connecting with a lot of brands. I've been working on my content for the year and just like my overall Q1 plan. What do I want to sell? What demographic do I want to sell to? When will I sell? And then what's the content that goes along with that? In a typical week, like this week, I had coaching sessions. I had some meetings with brands that I am connecting with in new partnerships. I recorded videos like this one. I planned videos. I also ended my December community. And so I promised them a PDF of all the replays of the things that we talked about in the month of December. So here y'all see me putting the finishing touches on that deliverable so I can send them an email first thing tomorrow with all of the details. And so all of this work typically happens in 1 week, sometimes even all in 1 day. And so I'm always going back and forth between my main things that I focus on, which is coaching, consulting, YouTube, selling products, working with brands, and managing my inbox, doing all of my administrative tasks. Y'all saw that there's not just one thing I do that's bringing me the income I make, but there are several things that I stack together to make a business that I enjoy, but a business that also pays me. In order to do this, because I'm the type of person, y'all, that I put my full effort in everything I do. I don't really do stuff, and I'm not the best at multitasking, honestly. And so in order to make this work, I had to learn early on the importance of prioritizing my schedule. So I'll give y'all a look at how I did this when I was working my full-time job, and then I'll show you guys how I'm doing it now. So when I was a teacher, at the time, I was teaching 7th grade math, and I was running my first business, which was my clothing boutique. And I also had my YouTube channel. I created a week at a glance. Okay, something like this, a week at a glance. And I needed to be able to see all of my obligations. I'm talking about, is there a test coming up with my students? Is there a big project coming up? And whenever I had not so heavy days, maybe I'm administering a test, which means less work having to prepare a lesson. When I saw those gaps in my schedule, that is when I added in other things that I could do for work. So if I had a chill Tuesday, that's going to be the day that I record content in the morning. If I have a really chill week coming up, this is going to be the week that I launch a new product in my business, because I know that I'll have the mental capacity to do both. And so it's important that you put all of your priorities on a calendar and get real. If you have kids and they have soccer or they have things coming up, add that to your calendar. Your work commitments, add that to that calendar. And then you prioritize your business as well. For me, when I was working my 9 to 5 and I also had my business, I was able to go full time when I treated my business as full time before it was full time. Like at the time, I was working 2 full-time jobs, my job and my business. And so on my calendar, they both had to fit on there, because when I get to work, I'm focused on work. I did not skimp off with my 9 to 5 just because I was growing a business. That still got priority as well. But before I left work every single day, I pulled up my calendar and I looked at, okay, I'm about to go home. what is my priority for today? Like, do I need to stop at the post office? Am I supposed to be recording a video so that as I'm driving home from work, I'm mentally preparing myself for my next shift that I'm about to clock into? Because again, my business was a priority. And so as you can see, this is not easy work, and I was tired all the time. But within 3 months of doing this, I was able to go full time. So now that I'm actually in business, how did I go from that to now doing everything I do now, all the things that I showed y'all? I still have my priorities, the things that are going to be paying me on contract. So for me, that is like coaching and consulting. These are people who pay me up front to work with me. This is the same as like having my 9 to 5. I actually created this app. You guys can see me looking through it. Here, I'm able to do the same thing and keep it on my phone. And so my coaching and consulting is a huge portion of my income stack, but my YouTube channel feeds my business. When you make content on YouTube, how I do it and how I teach my clients to do it, this becomes your marketing tool. This becomes the tool that promotes you, that brings in new interest, that brings in new leads, that brings in brands who want to work with you. So it is important that although YouTube is just content, it seems like it's fun, this is a top priority. When I look at my calendar, I now know when my content creating process has to happen so that it actually does happen. When I didn't do this, I found myself going ghost on YouTube for months because I would have a full-time client who requires all of my time. I would not have any content created, therefore no content got created. And so when I realized that I really want to prioritize both of them, this is when I started putting things on like my CEO planner. So the first 2 weeks, I'm focusing heavy on my clients. Weeks 3 and 4 of every month, I'm focusing on my YouTube content. This looks like I'm now batch recording and I'm going through the content creation process, which for me, my content creation process has a few different steps. I have to ideate, get ideas, do research, script out my content, record the content, edit the videos, do SEO research for the title and thumbnail, make the title and thumbnail, upload the video, and then also I analyze to see if I need to improve the video after it's been posted. So there's a lot of work that goes within creating content. And then now that I have those things on my calendar, I have my client heavy weeks and I have my batch recording heavy weeks, the last 2 weeks of the month. I then can pull up what I call my CEO planner, and I now can place different things where there are spots open. For example, if I need to meet with a brand, I can put it in where there's space. If I need to edit a video or connect with my editor, I can put it in a space. And so as y'all can see, I have been showing y'all behind the scenes of what I call my CEO planner. Y'all, I'm always on the go, on my phone, coaching, whatever, doing things that all encompass my business. And so a physical planner, I like to have a physical planner, but like right now I'm sitting here, I have no idea where it is, but I need to make sure if an email comes in right now, I'm at my computer, I can add it in. And I don't like to add things in and then overbook myself. I add it in where there's space. And so I personally wanted to create an app. I'm not a developer, but I still wanted to be able to create something that I can have on my phone. And this is where I want to shout out Replit, because y'all, with Replit, you're actually able to create apps. You don't have to be a developer. I literally went to the website, typed in exactly what I needed from my planner. Like I need to be able to have batch recording days or weeks. I need to be able to have client heavy weeks. I need to see my month and my weeks at a glance and be able to add things in where it makes sense. I want to see my available time. I put in this prompt and within minutes, the app was created. Literally all I had to do was scan the QR code. It's now on my phone. And as I'm sitting here talking to y'all right now, I can pull up the app and I can schedule in when my next meeting is going to be or when I'm going to handle another important task that's going to bring in income for my business. And then I can see how my income is doing as the month goes on and where there's opportunities to focus on. So for example, looking at my month for February, I see that there may be time for me to do a workshop during the second week of the month. This is going to allow me to continually increase my income and continue to diversify how I'm making money through my business. And the best thing is, if I wanted to push this app to the App Store, I literally can with Replit. People can actually download the app from the phone that I created and also use it. So if y'all have been thinking about creating an app for any means, for any part of your life, to help make it easy to plan, to produce content, etc., you can literally go to Replit, put in what you need, and it will work out an app for you. And y'all, once I added in structure like this into my day-to-day, money stopped being random. Now I know what it takes and what is needed from me every single week throughout the entire month in order to see the income that I am used to generating. I have multiple streams of income, like I shared with y'all. There's YouTube, there's brand deals, there's coaching, there's digital products. And because of this system I put into place, this is what December looked like. And as of today is January 12th. This is what January looks like. Literally, because I'm putting my CEO planner to work. Every single week, I'm being organized, I'm showing up, and I'm doing what needs to be done to hit the income goals. Because I learned a long time ago that when I'm doing nothing, my business is doing nothing. When I'm being passive, my income is not coming. This allows me to show up consistently, because literally, y'all hear this all the time, and y'all can hear it again from me. Just know that it's facts. What helps in this game is consistency. Showing up consistently, talking about consistent topics, and just being consistent in how you deliver on every part of your business. With something like this, it is so easy with multiple streams of income and with other priorities and whatever you're doing in life to feel like this is too much. I don't even know where to begin. I don't even know how to stay organized. I'm flustered. But what helped me to go full-time in my business, and what's helping me now to make consistent 5-figure months, is sticking to a plan, having a plan to begin with, and sticking with it. Once things go on my calendar, they become non-negotiable. And in this season, if you want to go full-time in your business has to become non-negotiable. The work has to become not optional. The content that's going to bring in the sales, the eyes, the income has to no longer be an option. For so long, when I started my business, like literally, y'all, I started my business July 2018. It was fun. It was a launch. People were excited. People bought. What happened after that? August through December, I treated my business like an option. My YouTube channel wasn't posting a thing. Because I treated it like an option, the money became optional. I was literally making $50 a month. January came. This time, 7 years ago, came, and I made a decision that I'm no longer just being passive when it comes to my business. I really want to see what can happen. I didn't know what could happen. I really didn't think much could happen, but I told myself one thing. I said, what if I just gave myself 3 months of going completely crazy, even if it hurts me, even if I get sick? What if I just go full out? What will I lose if I do that? And the only thing I lost was excuses. I was able to finally do this full time, and this is the work that works. If you're willing to do the work. If this year your goal is to see real income from this, to do this full time, to make extra income outside of your work, or make extra income because you don't have work, then this is the step that you do not want to skip. Y'all, if anything, find a way for you to have your own version of a CEO planner, whether it's a Word document or you create an app like I did. If you want to have something that's on your phone, you can take it with you. You can make it literally within minutes. Then as always, I recommend Replit. Thank you, Replit, for sponsoring today's video. And thank you, Replit, for giving me the opportunity to create my CEO planner on my phone. Because before this, I would just have it on a Google Doc. You can have Google Docs on your phone, but you got to pull up the app. You got to slide it over because it's too big for my phone screen. With an app, through this way, I can have it, I can see it, I can work with it. It's interactive, and it just works so well for the work that I'm already doing. I can build it exactly the way that my brain operates. And so if y'all want to check out Replit and do some vibe coding or create an app for yourself, then check out the link down below. But it is time for y'all to start thinking like a CEO, make your business non-optional, non-negotiable, and see where things can take you this year. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe button down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.